have advantage. 2 for 1. 3 opponents down. Zone B captured. Double down.
30th anniversary is here, and Bungie went all in. From what I've played, the spaces that I've seen, the weapons that I've used, they feel great. They're all very unique, major props. They did a really good job. In the first of many reviews and builds to come, I want to first take a look at the Halo Combat Evolved pistol, reimagined as the Forerunner. It's incredible. In general play PvE, very lethal in the Crucible, it's just very fun to use. And I'm going to be gushing over a lot of weapons that came out with this 30th anniversary update. Some have hidden things, some are just powerful, and some are just, again, downright fun to play with. The quest for Forerunner is fairly straightforward. The only issue that could possibly come up is at the end where you're told to go to the valley. You first look to the right, that's where that strange key area is, deposit it, and then straight across from you, it's going to direct you to a path that you need to go. Once in there, you climb to the top, and there appears to be a similar Halo Master Chief cryo chamber, also known as a cryo tube. And guess what? You pull the sidearm out of that cryo chamber, and if you're a fan of Bungie games, Halo, a diehard, this is seriously one of my favorite gaming experiences ever. I'm loving every second of it. The Forerunner is a kinetic 200 RPM sidearm. It takes special ammo. The trait it has is Pace Yourself. Tapping the trigger gives this weapon less recoil and improves accuracy, so let's look at that. Now, out of the gate, this weapon has to have the biggest aim assist and tightest accuracy cone that I've ever seen in Destiny. Regardless of what the stats say, the visual says it all. Just look at this thing, it's massive. And the aim assist cone does get wider when you add on targeting. It's very forgiving. I'm shooting through flinch like I never have before. I'm challenging snipers like I never have before. It wants you to tap the trigger for better recoil and improves accuracy, and they're 100% correct. In the end, I do recommend to wait that split second in between shots. I'm going to show you why. It's that sweet spot of still being fast, but not holding it down, going into full auto, because when you tap it, you see the accuracy cone expand and bloom out. And when you're tapping it, it never goes outside of the aim assist cone into full bloom. But the faster that you fire, and that end result is full auto, it does bloom out and the accuracy gets worse. With that said though, I would still try full auto. You might enjoy it. I've done okay, and it does okay because of how big that cone is, the range that it has on this sidearm. But again, using both, I do feel a difference when tapping, as you see with what it does, how it performs while you're shooting it. As far as the recoil, it's the same idea. Now this is with a very low field of view, so it's very dramatic, but if you hold down the trigger, it will kick higher and harder, but if you tap it, it's going to have a nice steady bounce. And with that aim assist cone being so good, you can hip fire confidently. You can also shoot it very confidently from the air. You do want to be aiming down sights, but it can work from the hip. There's a lot of sauce going on with the cones on this weapon, making it feel the way that it does. It is amped. It's like a hybrid hand cannon scout sidearm because it's an archetype of a sidearm. It feels like a hand cannon, but it has a 2x zoom like a base scout and performs at scout ranges. It's crazy. The aim assist stat says that it's 60, but with all of it together, the 100 range stat, it's just wild. Great vertical recoil, great stability, it is jacked in the stat department. The exotic perk is full stop. Oversized sidearm with extended range, heavy caliber rounds. Fires full auto with an increased fire rate, deals increased precision damage to unshielded targets. It's just a crazy base high damage that it does to non-shielded enemies. In PvP, that damage shows up as 69 to the head, and really good damage in PvE. I'll get to that in a moment. The range band is 50 meters aiming down sights, and then 28 meters hip fire, and it holds damage very well. Even when you start getting into 55, 50 crit within the Crucible, it still feels great. And that's where I want to start, the Crucible. This thing is pretty nuts, guys. I've had 6 Wii rans in the gaming session that I've played. Now, that has to do with a number of things. The sidearm's cracked. I have a pretty good shot. Players are using different things. And lastly, players don't have their abilities all the time, and it's starting to show. With so much range, 50 meters before fall-off, that's safe on a number of maps. I want to be clear, in the Crucible, this weapon is a threat. It's a threat if you're using a pulse scout hand cannon, a sniper, anything. If you're dueling it, it can send you right back to spawn faster than you got out of it. I don't know what the future holds for Forerunner in the Crucible, but I'm currently taking it all in. I'm enjoying it. It definitely feels like the old Halo CE pistol. It does 69 to the head, 39 to the body, a 0.6 TTK with 3 straight headshots. That is faster than the old Not Forgotten time to kill. A 4 bullet kill is achieved with 2 head and 2 body. That's a 0.9 TTK. A 2 bullet kill is achievable. That's in the 0.3 deletion range. What they did is they gave it 8 rounds to start with, meaning just like all special weapons, like a shotgun, a sniper, you have 2 kills within your starting mag. That's 2 4 bullet kills or 2 3 headshot kills. That's how they're taming it. I'm about to get into the mech and your trick sleeves in a moment, but per brick with the sidearm scav, you're going to be receiving 3 to 4. It's mostly 3, sometimes 4. But depending on how much special ammo your opponent had, I've picked up 5, 6, 7 shots from a scav pickup. And that's on Warlock and other subclasses. The trick sleeves were disabled due to it giving free ammo to Forerunner, but when they get turned back on, when it's fixed, that is the play. They are the perfect exotic for Forerunner. This scout arm shines, it thrives with damage buffs. In a Rift, it deals 82 to the head. Things like Inertia is great if you're using Titan. I do recommend instead of running high energy fire, run surprise attack. Turn that charge of light into damage rounds for it. It makes it deal 93 to the head, 52 to the body, a 1 head 2 body for that 0.6. And then there's the trick sleeves. Again, there's never been a better exotic for them because you get the fast aim down sights, the fast reload. In red health, you get bonus damage. And that damage can stack with charge with light, surprise attack, rifts, things like that. As you saw in the beginning, since it has so much range, you could be dueling with your other primary at a far distance. Say they chip you down into low health. You can challenge, you can peek with a 91 crit from far away. It's really, really good with the trick sleeves. They're now being used a way they've never been used before. I have got 2 buffs to stack at one time. It does 123 per headshot. It's a 2-tap. I've had fun with chromatic fire and other things, and I feel like this sidearm will stick around. It is very, very good. It has amp stats, it's lethal, fast TTK. A team shot of these is a firing squad. I'm going to be using it in trials when that comes back around. Get a fast pick with it, maybe challenge some snipers. It is very, very good. As for PvE, it's pretty good there. Same thing, surprise attack, and the artifact right now has unstoppable, and in the future, who knows, maybe overload or something like that. The damage shows up there. Take palindrome, it does 3,905 to the body, 5,857 to the head, or to the crit. Forerunner does 2,835 to the body and 11,338 to the crit. 300% or 4 times damage. Very important to hit your crits with it. The damage is fairly similar to an adaptive sniper rifle body shot, but you're doing it at 200 RPM. It's pretty good. And since it's kinetic, you can pair things like Disruption Break with your energy. It deals big damage on its own, but when you break their shield with Disruption Break, it's doing even more. Not to mention all your buffs and surprise attack and rifts, inertia, things like that. It gets a little bit above 60 rounds. And I don't think I've ever said this before, but be sure to have on Sidearm Ammo Finder. Also, Sidearm Scavenger. This is an iconic weapon that was reimagined and brought into Destiny. One of the core weapons of Halo in the very beginning, and then it moved on to the battle rifle, and that's going to be the next video. You can have a ton of fun with Forerunner in PvE and the Crucible, so go do it. It's a great one. I do expect it to stay around. It's that good. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. And if you're looking for a new controller, I am partnered with Scuff Gaming. Use the link down below and my code COOL at checkout for a discount. Let's talk about Forerunner down below, the 30th update, and how you feel about all these changes that happened. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.